Hello everyone, I'm Seema, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. In today's session, I'm going to give an overview of Java, which actually contains the basic concepts of Java. Let's quickly look at the agenda of today's session. Firstly, I'm going to tell you what actually a Java is. Then I'll explain you what do you mean by a Java platform. Then I'm going to give you a brief description of why a Java is important. Then I'm going to summarize the history of Java programming along with its different versions. Followed by I'm going to describe the different features of Java. After that, I'm going to tell you the different components of Java programming languages along with the different types of Java platforms. At the end, I'm going to explain the different applications of Java programming languages. Let's quickly begin with the very first topic, that is what actually a Java is. Java is a computer programming language that is concurrent. We know that a programming language is a language used for instructing the computer to perform some specified task. From the last class, we get to know that a programming language is a language which is used for instructing the computer to perform some specified task. Then, what do you mean by concurrent? Why Java is called as a concurrent programming language? Yeah, Java follows a concurrent approach. Yes, it's real. Java follows a concurrent approach. Now, when I talk about a concurrency, it means that when we have a lot many numbers of statements, for example, when we have a statements like A1, A2 till AN, so all these statements are need to be executed. All these statements like the statements A1, statement A2 till statement AN, all these statements need to be executed. So apart from, rather than executing all these instructions one after the other, in case of a concurrent, we're going to execute all these instructions in parallel. So basically, when mean that when we have a lot of statements, they need to be executed in parallel rather than executing them one after the other. In general, this concurrency is nothing but it is an ability. Concurrency is an ability of executing all the instructions, or it's an ability to execute all the instructions, ability to execute multiple instructions in parallel at a same time. So thereby it is also increase overall efficiency and it also saves a lot of time. So concurrency is the ability to run several instructions, or it's an ability to run multiple instructions in parallel. Thereby it increases overall efficiency and saves a lot of time. So Java is called as a concurrent programming languages. Next, Java is also called as object-oriented language because this object-oriented programming will provide a clear structure. This object-oriented programming will provide a clear structure. Since this object-oriented programming will provide a clear structure of a program. This OOPS concepts will provide a clear structure for the program. So everything in Java is an object. Whatever we design in Java is just an object. Whatever we are going to design in Java is an object. So this object oriented means we organize the software. We're going to organize the software as a combinations of different types of objects with its data and behavior. Object orientation means we organize our software as a combination of different types of objects which incorporate both data and behavior. In general, this object-oriented programming is a methodology. Object-oriented programming is a methodology which will simplify just the software development and software maintenance. This object-oriented programming is a methodology that simplifies the software development as well as software maintenance by providing some rules. So in order to follow, the Java follows all these things, and Java is called as an object-oriented programming language. Next, we call Java as a multi-platform programming language. This multi-platform programming language is also called as platform independent programming language. Since by using Java, we can run all the programs in all the platforms. So this Java will run on multiple platforms. It is called as a platform independent. It is also called as write once, run anywhere. This Java is a write once, run anywhere programming languages. So this Java is called as a multi-platform programming languages. Next, we call Java as a network-centric programming languages. Why we call this as a network-centric programming languages means this Java will have a sophisticated networking APIs. Since Java will have a sophisticated networking APIs, we call this Java as a network-centric. By using this sophisticated networking APIs, which allows us to build network-centric applications. So in order to develop a network-centric application, we'll go with this sophisticated networking API. So we call this Java as a network-centric programming language. Java is a general purpose class-based language. When we say Java is a general purpose programming language, because Java can fulfill more than one purpose. General means we can go with any numbers of applications. We can use this Java to run on all the multiple application development platforms. So this Java can fulfill more than one purpose and it can run on multiple application development. So it is called as a general purpose programming language. Then why do we call Java as a class-based? Because this Java will have a class orientation. This Java will have a class orientation. Since Java will have a class orientation, which means it is just a style of object-oriented programming. Since class is just a style of object-oriented programming in which the inheritance will occur by defining the classes of objects. By defining the classes of objects, we can achieve the inheritance. So we call this as a class-based language. Next, look at what is Java platform. Java platform is a collection of programs which helps the programmer to develop and to run Java programming application. In order to run a Java programming application, we need a Java platform. So this platform is just a collection of programs. So thereby it helps the programmer to develop different set of Java applications. This Java platform will include an execution engine. Since we execute multiple instructions in parallel, we require this execution engine much more. Then this Java platform will also contain a compiler in order to compile all the instructions at the same time. Then we will have a set of libraries to make use of different library functions. This Java platform is a set of computer software along with its specifications. Java platform is invented by a person by name James Gosling from his Sun Microsystems. The person James Gosling developed this Java platform at Sun Microsystems. Next, we'll discuss why Java is so much important. While we overcome with C and C++, then we're using Java. Why we actually use Java? So basically, there are two different reasons or two main reasons why actually we use a Java, or why Java is so much important rather than C and C++. The very first reason is trouble with C or C++ is that they are not portable and are not platform independent language. Since in case of C and C++ language, once we written the program, we can't use it for other applications. And these programming languages are not portable also. So in order to overcome with these problems of portability and along with the platform independence, we'll go with the Java, which is called as a more portable and platform independent programming languages. So once we write the programming languages of Java anywhere, we can use that programming languages in all the execution times. As Java is called as a write once and run anywhere programming languages. So in order to overcome this portability and not platform independent language, we'll go with Java, which is a platform independent programming languages and a portable one. The second main thing is emergence of World Wide Web, which demanded the portable programs. So this, in today's world, the search engines or the browsers are very much familiar with the portable programs. So these web engines or these browsers will demand for a portable program. So when we think about a C and C++, from the last point itself, we get to know that C and C++ languages are not portable ones. So in order to overcome with this portability nature, in order to help the browsers and web engines, we'll go with Java. Next, in-demand programming languages. Since in today's world, Java is used everywhere. It has been used in every IT industry. Today, Java is used in every IT industry. Java is also considered as the best career option with a lot of money-making packages. Today, we all people depend on the money-making strategies itself. So Java is one of an application with a lot of money-making packages. No other programming languages will match with Java in terms of its flexibility and seamless integrations with other frameworks and technologies. What the flexibility of Java will have, no other languages will match with this flexibility of Java. And Java will also support reliable exception handling that can withstand all the major types of erroneous and exception conditions. Next, we'll have a history of programming languages, from which we'll get to know some important landmarks of a Java programming language. Our Java programming will begin. What actually the initial name of a programming language called Java? Then who introduced this name Java and all? Initially, it was called as a Oak. The Java language was initially called as a Oak. Originally, it was developed for handling the portable devices and set-top boxes. Then, this Oak will lead to a massive failure. This Oak will show us a failure in its execution. So, in order to overcome this failure of Oak, in 1995, Sun changed the name of Oak into Java and modified the name and also modified the language to take advantages of World Wide Web in order to improve the browser engine and to develop the business. Later, in 2009, a company called Oracle Corporation will acquire this Sun Microsystems and took ownership of programming languages Along with Java, it also take an ownership of different software, or it also take an ownership of different programming languages, or it also takes an ownership of different software assets. It takes an ownership of different software assets like MySQL, Solaris, and so on. Along with Java, it takes an ownership of different software assets like MySQL, Solaris, and so on. So this about a history of programming language called Java. Next, we'll have different versions of Java. Here are the brief history of all the versions of Java with its release date. In the beginning, we will have a Java version called JDK Alpha and Beta, where this JDK will actually stand for Java Development Kit. So we will have a Java Development Kit with Alpha and Beta. With Alpha and Beta, we'll have a Java Development Kit, which was released in the year 1995. Then, with some modification, we'll get with different versions like JDK 1.1. Then, with the different modifications of 1.1, we'll go with JDK 1.2. Same way, we'll go with J2SE 1.2, where this J2SE will actually stand for Java Standard Edition. This is a Java Standard Edition with its version 1.2, where this SE will actually stand for Standard Editions of Java. This Standard Edition of Java will actually release in the year 1998. Thereby, by modifying the instance or by modifying some features, he will go with different set of versions like J2SE 1.3, J2SE 1.4, J2SE 5.0. Then I'll go with Java Standard Edition 6, Java Standard Edition 7, and today we are using Java Standard Edition 15. So we are in Java Standard Edition 15, which was released in the year 2020. This will give a summary, or it will give a brief history of all the different versions of Java along with its release date. Now we'll describe the different features of Java. These are the different key features or different important features of Java. The very first one is simple. Java is simple, object-oriented, portable, platform-independent, secure, robust, high-performance, multi-threaded, distributed, and dynamic. All these 10 are the different or the most important features of Java. Let's discuss one of them in detail. The first feature is simple. Why Java is simple? The programs written in Java is very simple, so it makes the user to understand in a simple manner. Since the syntax of Java is very similar to the syntax of C and C++, the syntax is also simple, clean, and it is easy to understand, easy to learn. Why it is easy to learn? Because Java has also removed many complicated and rarely used features. Since Java removed the complicated and rarely used feature, this Java is easy to understand and easy to learn. The second main feature is object-oriented. As I said, Java is an object-oriented programming. Everything in Java is an object. Object-oriented means we organize the software as a combination of different types of objects, which incorporates both data as well as behavior. So this is also one of the key features of Java, and we also call this Java as a object-oriented programming language. Next, we have one more feature called portable. Why we have a portable? Because why Java is a portable? Because It allows us to carry the Java bytecode to any platform. It allows users to carry out the Java bytecode to all the platforms. It doesn't require any platforms without having a specifications about the platform. It will carry the Java bytecode to any platform, and it also doesn't require any implementation techniques. Without implementing, we're going to use a Java, so we call this as a portable one. The next feature is platform independent. We know that Java is a multi-platform or a platform independent programming language, as Java is a write once run anywhere programming and it executes in all the platforms. So it is called as a multi-platform or a platform independent programming language. The next feature is secure. The Java is best known for its security. With Java, we can develop virus-free systems or we can develop virus-free applications. We call Java as a secured because the Java or the programs that we written in a Java are runs inside a virtual machine. Since the program that we written are run inside a virtual machine, it is more secured one. The next key feature is tells that Java is robust. What actually robust means? Robust is nothing but a strong. Staying strong is nothing but a robust. Java is robust or Java is a strong because it uses a strong memory management technique. Since there is a lack of pointers, it also avoids some security problems. Since in case of a Java, we lack or we never use with a pointer, it will avoid some security problems. In Java, we have an automatic garbage collection, which helps to get rid of objects which are not being used or the objects which are not useful. So the without usage objects will be removed by using an automatic garbage collection. So this is one of an important features of Java. So by using this automatic garbage collection, there are many exception handling and type checking mechanisms all together make Java robust. The next feature is high performance. As I said, Java is robust. Robust is nothing but a strong. If a programming languages is strong in a sense, it is also a fast one. Java is considered as a high performance as Java is faster than other programming language, as the bytecode of Java is close to its native code. Then we have one more key features of Java, which is called as a multi-threaded. Before going to know about a multi-threaded, I'll tell you what actually a thread is. A thread is like a separate program which executes concurrently. We need to write a Java program that deals with many tasks at once by defining multiple threads. So we call Java as a concurrent programming language as it executes multiple tasks at single time, and it also shares a common memory area. So in case of Java, we'll have automatic garbage collection in order to remove the unwanted things, or in order to remove the unwanted objects, we have an automatic garbage collection. This is about the key features called multi-threaded. Next, we see Java is a distributed. Why I said Java is a distributed? Because it facilitates the users to create the distributed applications in Java. It also allows or it also enables us to access the file by calling the different methods from any machines. So this is about a distributed. Next, we call Java as a dynamic. We call Java as a dynamic language as it supports dynamic loading of classes. It also supports dynamic compilation. Since we can go to execute all the instructions at a given span of time, we're going to execute multiple instructions in a parallel. We require dynamic compilation. And we will also have an automatic memory management in order to manage the memory for all the instructions which are executed in parallel. So this is about the key features of Java. Next, we'll discuss with different components of Java programming language. Basically, we have three different platform components by using which different functionalities are carried out across the worldwide. And the three different platforms are JDK, which is nothing but Java Development Kit, JVM, which means Java Virtual Machine, JRE, which stands for Java Runtime Environment. Let's move on to know each of them in detail. Firstly, we have Java Development Kit. This Java Development Kit is one of a software development environment which is used for making applets and Java applications. What actually a Java applet means? What actually a applet in Java? This applet in a Java program that can be transported over the internet and executed by a Java enabled web browser. This applet is a Java program. Applet is a Java program that can be transported over the internet and executed by a Java enabled web browser. So this JDK, this Java Development Kit, is a software development environment which is used for making the applet and Java application in order to enable the web browser or in order to make use of Java enabled web engines. This Java Development Kit will used for many operating systems, or it may also used in Windows, Mac OS, Solaris, and Linux. It also used in almost all the operating systems. This Java Development Kit will help to code and run the Java programs almost in all the different platforms. We can install more than one JDK version, which means that we can install more than one Java Development Kit version on the same computers. In a single computer, we are going to use n different numbers of Java versions, or we are going to install n different numbers of JDK versions in a single computer. This about a JDK. Next, we have a JVM, which is nothing but Java Virtual Machine. JVM is an engine which provides a runtime environment to drive the Java code or application. It actually converts the bytecode into a machine language, as the system will understand only the machine level language. This JVM will convert the Java bytecode into a machine language. JVM is just a part of Java runtime environment. We have one more component called as Java runtime environment. So this JVM is just a part of Java runtime environment. In other programming languages, the compiler produces the machine code for a particular system. However, the Java compiler produces the code for a Java virtual machine, which is known as a JVM. We will have a compiler, or the Java compiler produces the code for a Java virtual machine, or it produces the code for a virtual machine, which was known as a Java virtual machine. This JVM or Java virtual machine will provide a platform independent way of executing Java source code. As Java is a platform independent, this Java virtual machine will provide the way of executing Java source code. This JVM will have a numerous libraries, tools, and framework in order to develop many software applications, or in order to develop the Java course or Java application. This Java virtual machines will have a numerous libraries, tools, and frameworks. Once you run a Java program, you can run on any platform and save a lot of time. As I said, Java is a write once, run anywhere program. once we write a program, we can run that program on any platform, which actually saves a lot of time. JVM comes with JIT, which is nothing but just in-time compiler, which is nothing but whenever the system will execute all the instructions in parallel, at a given span of time, all the instructions will get compiled, which converts the Java source code into a low-level machine language. Since the system will understand only the machine level language, it eventually converts the source code into a low-level machine language, and this runs faster than the regular applications. Next, we have a JRE. JRE is just a piece of software which is designed to run on other software development tools. It also contains some class libraries in order to perform different library functions. And we will have a loader class in order to load the functions, or in order to load the values of a particular variables, or in order to relate with different classes of objects. And it also contains a Java virtual machine. As I said, JVM is just a part of JRE. In simple terms, JRE is used to run. In order to run a Java program, JRE is very much needed. Without a JRE, we can't run a Java program. So JRE is act as a major part when we need to run a Java program. If you are not a programmer, you don't need to install JDK, but just JRE to run Java program. So if you are not know anything about a Java, then there is no need to install a JDK. But in order to run the different Java program, we just go with Java runtime environment, which helps to run the different Java programs. Next, we will have a different types of Java platforms. So with respect to the Java platforms, basically we have 4 different Java programming language platforms, which will have a different Java versions also. Currently, I'll say Java SE, that is a Java Standard Edition, 15, I think. That is the version which we are using currently. So there are 4 different platforms with respect to Java programming language. The very first one is Java Platform Standard Edition, which is nothing but Java SE. The second one is Java Platform Enterprise Edition, which we'll call as Java EE. Then we'll have a Java Programming Language Platform Micro Edition, which is called as Java ME. Then we'll have Java FX. Let's discuss with each and everything in detail. First, we'll have Java Standard Edition. This Java Standard Edition will offer the core functionalities in order to perform different set of functions which are related to develop the different software. In order to develop different Java applications, it offers core functionalities. This Java SE will define all the basis of types and objects to high-level classes. From the low level to high level, this Java Standard Edition will define all the basics of types and objects or classes and instances in order to develop the Java applications. This Java SE is used for networking applications, security applications, or in order to develop some database applications, or in order to access the database scenarios. This Java SE is also used for graphical user interfaces. So in order to develop some user interfaces tasks, this Java SE is used. And in order to passing the XML language, or in order to passing the extensible markup language, this Java Standard Edition is also used. Next, we'll go with Java Platform Enterprise Edition, which is nothing but Java AE, Java EE. It offers an API, and it also allows the runtime environment for developing and running highly scalable, large-scale, multi-tiered, reliable, and secure network applications. Then we'll go with Java ME, that is Java Programming Language Platform Micro Edition. It also offers an API as similar to that of Java EE, and it's a small footprint virtual machine. It acts as a small footprint which helps to run a Java programming language application, which will actually import on many small devices like cell phones. By using this Java MV, we're going to work with different applications in our cell phones. So this Java ME is acts as a small footprint virtual machine. Next, we'll have a Java FX. In order to develop a rich internet application, or in order to develop a lightweight user interface, we'll go with FX. So it is called a platform for developing a rich internet application using a lightweight user interface API. So by using this rich internet application and lightweight user interface, which makes us to easy and which allows us to feel like free to use this Java application by using this Java FX. It helps for hardware accelerated graphic design, and it also helps for high level APIs for connecting to the network data sources. In order to connect the people to the network data sources, or in order to connect the programmers to the network data sources, we're going to use this Java FX. Next, we'll go with which are the different applications of Java we have. These are the different applications. We'll use the Java for banking applications, for web tools, for business, in order to develop Android, enterprises, big data, scientific and research community. For all these things, we are going to make use of Java programming languages. Let's see how it actually works with different programming languages. So when it's considered for banking, in order to craft the critical financial applications, in order to design for any banking applications, or in order to develop any critical functionalities of banking, we'll go with this Java programming languages. Why we actually use this programming languages in a Java? Because of its portability, because of its safety features compared to the other programming languages, or because of its memory management, which makes easier with the usage of Java, or because of the automatic garbage collections that what we have in a Java programming languages, we'll go with the banking. Next, we'll have a web tool. So in order to develop different web engines like what we are using today with respect to Amazon, Wi-Fi, Broadleaf, all these are developed by using this Java programming languages. Next, with respect to a business, since Java is a very fastest and secure, and its bytecode is very close to its native language, we'll go with Java. For Android applications, or for development of Android applications, or for cell phones, in order to usage of Android operating systems, or in order to develop Android standard development kit, we'll go with a Java programming languages. Next, with respect to an enterprise, today in the real world entity, Java acts as a money making tool, and it is the first choice of all the programming languages. Since it uses the Java EE, that is Enterprise Edition, we'll go with this Java for application development. Next, we'll use this Java for big data techniques. So for the major features of big data is in Hadoop. So in order to design the many applications with respect to Hadoop, we go with the basic applications of Java. In order to design this Hadoop, we go with the Java Standard Edition. And one more key features of big data is Scala. By using the many standard editions, or by incorporating the different standard development kit or different runtime environments, we're going to design this Scala. So we'll use this Java for a big data tool. This is all about the basics or an overview of Java. Thank you.